Hi there. Later, inclusive football meets Taylor Swift. First though, a queer comedian's gone ahead with their show in Australia despite a sinister anti-LGBTQ+ death threat the night before. The words Pulse Nightclub 49 were posted in the comments of an Instagram promo for Mark Isaac's gig in Sydney, references 2016's mass shooting at a queer venue in Florida that left 49 people dead. Police took the view it was probably just a bedwetting incel, I may be paraphrasing, and despite being really upset by the threat, Mark still went on stage. So let's big them up with a quick clip.
See, I'm aging like a moderately priced wine. It might seem quite appealing at first, but I'll leave you with an aftertaste of bitterness and infection.
Mark performs as a kilted queer and describes himself as just your average autistic Caledonian puff. Same. The United Nations Human Rights Council votes this week on whether to carry on having an independent expert on sexual orientation and gender identity. This role's been around for 9 years, reporting on violence and discrimination, takes in things like the harm caused by conversion therapy and the criminalisation of same-sex relations. The UN renews the advisor's mandate every 3 years. And a star of America's NFL's been running a queer-inclusive youth football camp over the weekend. Kalen Saunders from the New Orleans Saints says he wanted to challenge the hypermasculine heterosexual norms of the sport. He roped in current and former NFL players to take part, plus his queer brother Cameron, who's a dancer for Taylor Swift. Hi there. Later, fears airstrikes in Iran have killed more than 100 trans people. First though, the right-wing UK political party that risks looking like a bunch of culture war clowns trying to stir up anti-transgender hate. Reform UK runs Kent County Council, which claimed to have removed books with trans themes from the children's sections of its libraries. Paul Webb from the council made what's now viewed as a somewhat inaccurate statement.
I was recently contacted by a concerned member of the public who found trans-ideological material and books in the children's section of one of our libraries. I've issued instruction for them all to be removed from the children's section of any of our libraries. Our children do not need to be told they were born in the wrong bodies. So from today, this will stop.
So yeah, turns out just one book aimed at adults has been relocated, singular, one book. This nonsense has been criticised as an edifying gender baiting of the LGBTQ+ community. Next, more than 100 transgender people are thought to have been killed after airstrikes on a prison in Iran. Evangel in northern Tehran was attacked by Israel, destroying a section for trans inmates known as Ward 240. Human rights groups accuse the prison of torture, sexual abuse, and extensive solitary confinement. And an update on what we were telling you yesterday, the United Nations will continue to have an independent expert on sexual orientation and gender identity. A vote to renew the mandate of the advisor, who reports on violence and discrimination against LGBTQ+ people, has taken place in Switzerland, 29 for, 15 against, and 3 abstentions. Mainly African countries opposed, plus others including China, Qatar, and Kuwait. No time to tell you that. Same-sex couples in Hong Kong can now apply for public housing subsidised by the government, just like the straights can. And the Gaming Awards are dished out later, celebrating excellence in LGBTQ+ video games. Hi there. Later, complaints about an LGBTQ+ stained glass window. First though, transgender men who want to play in male competitive football in England are going to have to sign a statement agreeing they're a biological female. The sport's governing body will require them to say they're at a greater risk of injury when taking on adult biological males. This applies as of the new season starting in August. Trans women have been banned from playing in female matches by the Football Association since the beginning of last month.
It's going to have a big personal impact. Like for me especially, it's a coping mechanism. Women's football is one of the most inclusive spaces around, and that's really what it gave me. It's gave me a family, given me mentors.
Dr. Blair Hamilton speaking to Sky Sports News. All this comes off the back of the UK Supreme Court ruling the legal definition of a woman's based on biological sex. Next, arrest warrants from the International Criminal Court for two of the Taliban's top leaders accused of persecuting LGBTQ+ people. Claims the group in control of Afghanistan's been going after those who don't conform to its strict gender rules. The ICC says women and girls and their allies are also being targeted. And quelle surprise! There have been complaints about an LGBTQ+ stained glass window installed at Belfast City Hall in Northern Ireland. The traditional unionist voice group claims it breaks the council's equality rules because, according to them, faith organisations weren't consulted. They're also unhappy about the subversion of an old local anti-queer slogan, "Save Ulster from Sodomy," appears in the design as "Save Sodomy from Ulster." No time to tell you that. Electra Romi-Dotsi's become the first trans woman to lead a Greek political party, Volt Greece. The Vatican says blessings of same-sex unions will continue under Pope Leo. And Wisconsin Supreme Court in America has cleared the way for a ban on conversion therapy to be implemented. Hi there. Later, a fantastic phallus wins an art prize. We've got it all here. First though, the Drag University for Black and Latino people in Texas. Students don't just learn about performance and makeup at Drag U, but also the likes of public speaking and HIV awareness. The 6-week course teaches them to be effective LGBTQ+ advocates through drag. Chloe Montgomery, aka Chloe Yamore, says the community it's provided helped her to transition.
I don't want to live the wrong life and then die. I've been around the block for many years. I am not an unknown quantity. I don't need to be. Fear of what people are going to do or say, do your worst. Worried about things that are never going to happen.
Thanks to The Washington Post. That's from a poem Chloe wrote and performed for the course, run by advocacy group The Normal Anomaly Initiative, and a special mention for one of the other students with the drag name Bo Vine. A transgender content creator and activist is quitting the UK after she was robbed at London Pride. Alexis Salia had already been minded to leave following the country's Supreme Court ruling that trans women aren't women under the Equality Act. Says the robbery's confirmation she's not safe in London now and she's moving to Thailand at the end of the month. And a giant charcoal drawing of a groin and winkle has won the top prize at an art exhibition in Australia, which is down under, ironically. The annual Men on Men showcase at a gay bar in Melbourne featured more than 100 pieces from male and male-identifying artists. A Place to Rest by Jason Trina's taken the grand prize. The detail in the oversized drawings so precise, people thought it was AI. No time to tell you that. A woman's been fined nearly 100,000 rubles for breaking Russia's LGBTQ+ propaganda law by posting funny images of men in wedding dresses. And Brighton Bear Weekend starts later in the UK, raising money for local HIV charities. Hi there. Later, comeuppance for a bigoted Christian hypocrite. First though, an Olympic athlete's won a partial victory in a 6-year legal fight over sex eligibility rules. South African runner Caster Semenya has been banned from the 800 metres since 2019 after World Athletics brought in limits on testosterone levels for female competitors. The European Court of Human Rights has ruled her rights to a fair hearing were violated by Switzerland's Supreme Court, where she'd been appealing.
I'm born with, high testosterone level. I'm born with no uterus. I'm born with internal testes. You understand? Those are your genetics. You own them. If you know that you're a woman, you're a woman. It's not about what you believe. It's about what you know.
Caster speaking to the News Movement. The 34-year-old's legal fight returns to Switzerland now, where the International Olympic Committee is based. Saudi Arabia's censored an esports documentary from Amazon Prime to remove anything LGBTQ+. The original version of Level Up features Steve Arhansett from gaming organisation Team Liquid talking about, amongst other things, growing up gay in a conservative part of America. But that's been cut in Saudi, where homosexuality carries the death penalty, and rainbows on the team's pride jerseys are blurred out. And a right-wing Christian politician who's made a name for himself attacking LGBTQ+ rights is being divorced by his wife for adultery. What does your Bible say about that, eh? It's claimed Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton used secret email addresses, burner phones, and fake Uber accounts to cover his tracks. He's put out a statement asking for prayers and privacy, and we'll have another edition of Big Ol' Religious Hypocrites soon. No time to tell you that. Trans-inclusive role-playing game Dragon Age The Veilguard has won 3 prizes at this year's Gaming Awards, including Game of the Year, and it's Dublin's Trans and Intersex Pride on Sunday. Get in touch on our socials, we're at Pride Daily Pod. I'm Kev McGrath. See you next week.